Hello everyone, welcome to Educator's Pride. Myself Dr. Savita Khatri. In my videos, I will teach all the life sciences topics. In my previous video, I have discussed about basics of cell signaling. If you have not seen that video, then you will find the link of that video in the playlist at the end of this video. In this video, I will discuss about G protein coupled receptor. So let's start with it. So, what are G protein coupled receptors? What is the basic structure of G proteins? G protein coupled receptors are the largest family of cell surface receptors that transmit signals to intracellular targets via the intermediary action of guanine nucleotide binding proteins called as G proteins. G protein coupled receptors are present in all eukaryotes. It includes the receptors for many neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, and peptide hormones. In addition, the G protein coupled receptor family includes a large number of receptors that are responsible for smell, light, and taste. G protein coupled receptors consist of single polypeptide of multipass nature. They crosses the lipid bilayer 7 times and are therefore sometimes called as serpentine receptors. For example, the GPCR that responds to chemical signals is the beta adrenergic receptor. This protein receptor binds a hormone epinephrine. G protein coupled receptors are linked to trimeric G proteins. These G proteins are GTPase switch proteins. There are two classes of GTPase switch proteins. First is trimeric G proteins and second is monomeric G proteins. Now, the activation of G proteins. All G proteins contain three subunits alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha and gamma subunits of G proteins are anchored to the membrane lipids covalently. The beta subunit is always complexed with gamma subunit, forming the heterodimeric structure G beta gamma. The alpha subunit is a GTP switch protein that alternates between an active state with bound GTP and an inactive state with bound GDP. In the absence of signal molecule, the heterotrimeric G protein complex is in an inactive GDP bound form. On the binding of hormone to the receptor, there is a conformational change of the receptor and activation of the G protein complex. This results from the exchange of GDP with GTP on the alpha subunit, after which alpha and beta gamma dissociate. The alpha and beta gamma subunit binds to and activates the effector. The intrinsic GTPase activity of these GTP binding proteins hydrolyzes the bound GTP to GDP and phosphate, thus converting the active form back to the inactive form. Now the types of G proteins. There are various classes of trimeric G proteins as given in the table. These are GS, GOLF, GI, GO, GT, and GQ. The alpha and beta gamma subunits mediate various functions as given in the table. The alpha subunit of G protein S activates adenylyl cyclase and activates calcium ion channels. The alpha subunit of GOLF activates adenylyl cyclase in olfactory sensory neurons. The alpha subunit of GI family inhibits adenylyl cyclase, and the beta gamma subunit of GI activates potassium ion channels. The beta gamma subunit of GO activates potassium channels and inactivates calcium ion channels. The alpha and beta gamma subunits of GO activates phospholipase C beta. The alpha subunit of GT activates cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase, and the alpha subunit of GQ activates phospholipase C beta. Now, beta adrenergic receptor, an example of G protein coupled receptor. A best studied example of a GPCR that responds to epinephrine is the beta adrenergic receptor. Beta adrenergic receptor is coupled to G protein GS, which activate adenylate cyclase. Once activated, adenylate cyclase catalyzes synthesis of cyclic AMP. The epinephrine stimulated increase in cyclic AMP and subsequent activation of protein kinase A enhance the conversion of glycogen to glucose 1-phosphate by stimulating glycogen degradation by protein kinase A. Protein kinase A promotes glycogen degradation directly by phosphorylating and activating an kinase, glycogen phosphorylase kinase, that in turn phosphorylates and activates glycogen phosphorylase, the enzyme that degrades glycogen. The entire process is reversed when epinephrine is removed and level of cyclic AMP drops. The effector protein for some of the G proteins is a sodium or potassium ion channel. For example, the muscarinic acetylcholine receptors in cardiac muscles are G protein coupled receptors. These receptors are linked by a trimeric G protein GI to potassium channels. Binding of acetylcholine triggers activation of the GI alpha subunit that leads to opening of associated potassium channels. The subsequent efflux of potassium ions causes hyperpolarization of the plasma membrane. Now, the activation of protein kinase A by cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP directly activates cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase known as protein kinase A. Cyclic AMP also induces opening of certain types of ion channels in the plasma membrane of some highly specialized cells. Protein kinase A catalyzes the transfer of terminal phosphate group from ATP to specific serine or threonines of selected target proteins. In the inactive state, protein kinase A consists of a complex of two catalytic subunits and two regulatory subunits. The binding of cyclic AMP to the regulatory subunits alters their conformation, causing them to dissociate from the complex. The released catalytic subunits are thereby activated to phosphorylate specific substrate protein molecules. The active catalytic subunits phosphorylate a number of target proteins that are cytosolic as well as nuclear on serine and threonine residues. One of the major nuclear targets for protein kinase A is the transcription factor CREB, that is cyclic AMP response element binding protein, which is activated by phosphorylation. Phosphorylation at a single serine residue greatly increases the activity of CREB bound to CRE, that is cyclic AMP response element, which is found in genes whose transcription is induced by cyclic AMP. Mainly, there are four groups of protein kinases that are classified by the types of protein amino acid targets. First is protein serine threonine kinases that phosphorylate either serine or threonine in the target protein. Second, protein tyrosine kinases that phosphorylate tyrosine in the target protein. Third is dual specificity kinases that phosphorylate target proteins on either tyrosine or serine threonine. And fourth is histidine kinases that phosphorylate target proteins on histidine. Now, the activation of enzyme phospholipase C beta via GQ. Many G protein coupled receptors exert their effects via G proteins like GQ that activate the plasma membrane bound enzyme phospholipase C beta. As shown in the figure, the activated phospholipase C cleaves phosphatidyl inositol 4,5-bisphosphate, that is PIP2, to generate two secondary messengers. First is inositol 1,4,5-triphosphate, that is IP3, and diacylglycerol, that is DAG. The membrane phospholipid PIP2 is a minor component of the plasma membrane localized to the inner leaflet of the phospholipid bilayer. One secondary messenger, diacylglycerol, remains associated with the plasma membrane. The other secondary messenger produced by PIP2 cleavage, IP3 is a small polar molecule that is released into the cytosol, where it acts to signal the release of calcium ion from endoplasmic reticulum. IP3 acts to release calcium ion from the endoplasmic reticulum by binding to receptors that are ligand-gated calcium ion channels. As a result, cytosolic calcium ion levels increase, which affects the activities of a variety of target proteins, including protein kinases and phosphatases. Diacylglycerol together with phosphatidylserine and calcium ion helps to activate the enzyme protein kinase C, which is recruited from the cytosol to the cytosolic phase of the plasma membrane. When activated, protein kinase C phosphorylates specific serine or threonine residues on the target proteins. Activation of rhodopsin via GT. Visin depends on G protein coupled receptors that regulate cyclic nucleotide gated ion channels. The first step in visin is absorption of light energy by rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is an integral protein with 7 membrane spanning alpha helices present in the rod cells. As shown in the figures, in its excited conformation, rhodopsin interacts with a second protein, transducin, that is GT. Transducin is a heterotrimeric GTP binding protein. It can bind either to GDP or GTP. In the dark, GDP is bound. All three subunits of protein alpha, beta, gamma remain together and no signal is sent. When rhodopsin is excited by light, it interacts with transducin, catalyzing the replacement of bound GDP by GTP from the cytosol. Transducin then dissociates into GT alpha and GT beta gamma, and the GT alpha GTP carries the signal from the excited receptor to the effector molecule cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase, that is PDE. The PDE enzyme converts cyclic GMP to 5' GMP. The cyclic GMP levels in the cytosol fall. This drop in cyclic GMP concentration leads to a decrease in the amount of cyclic GMP bound to the plasma membrane sodium ion channels, allowing more of these highly cyclic GMP sensitive channels to close. Closure of these channels inhibits the influx of sodium ions. These channels are kept open in the dark by cyclic GMP that has bound to them. In this way, light causes a hyperpolarization rather than a depolarization of the plasma membrane, so the activation of rhodopsin molecules by light results in hyperpolarization. This leads to decreased release of synaptic transmitters response in bipolar cells and other neural cell elements for the vision. So, this is all about G protein coupled receptors with various examples. If you like the video, then subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.